Natasha Bibo. I'm the Regional Advisor and Chair of the Scbwi British Isles, but I'm also a writer of picture books mainly, but I'm also working on a middle grade novel and some creative non-fiction picture books. And I run Blue Elephant Story Shaping, which is a mentoring, editing, and coaching service for authors and illustrators, and I work freelance for various publishers.
I'm Mo O'Hara, author of My Big Fat Fluffy Goldfish, and Scbwi to me is my writing life, because I joined Scbwi way before I was published and only kind of envisioned myself as a published person because of Scbwi.
My name is Sarah Grant. I'm a writer of children and teen fiction. I have 2 teen novels and I have a series for younger readers. I also have a new series coming out for middle grade. I've been a long-time Scbwi member on both sides of the Atlantic. So for over about 20 years I've been in Scbwi, and when I moved to the UK, when I moved to London, that was the first kind of contact I made. I found Scbwi, and I found a lovely person called Margaret Carey and joined a writers group.
Well, I'm Sarah Mussey, and I'm a writer. I write YA fiction mostly, although I'm trying very hard to go down the ladder into middle grade stories for the age range from 9, I guess, to 12. And in my day job, I'm a teacher, and so I kind of split my time between writing and teaching. And I'm lucky enough to be published. And I came to it the hard way from the slush pile. So I'm a regular slush pile baby, so I totally know what it's like to start out there and not have an agent and not have a book published. And my belief is that if I can do it, anybody can.
So one of the most important ways that the Scbwi has grown to be what it is today is because people have come up with really good ideas and innovative suggestions for how they would like to see programs grow for our members who are writers and illustrators and anyone who's interested in children's books. So if you have any great ideas and you'd like to tell them to me, please come find me some point at the conference or email me. I'm always looking for people to innovate and to really address the members' needs. But equally, look around you. You might meet someone who might have some really great ideas to help you with something you're stuck on. So do talk to your neighbor and ask them. We're a very friendly bunch.
I'm in kind of awe of what illustrators can do and how they can tell stories in that way, because I'm confined by words, and they're not confined by words. They're liberated by pictures, and that is a really cool thing. And I am totally on board with Sarah McIntyre's quest to give that a bit more of an equal footing in the industry. And so one of the things that Candy and I did with the Pulse initiative that we're working on through Scbwi is have Sarah talk to a lot of members, and it was brilliant because that day it was pretty much 50-50 writers and illustrators in that room for the event with Sarah McIntyre, discussing making books and discussing having those books attributed fairly, and it was a really positive experience.
I think the very fact that you're there and you're here and you're hearing this means that you're a professional writer really inside you, that there's a writer there that is taking themselves really very seriously.
I think one of the greatest things about Scbwi is the friendships and the community that you have no matter where you are in the world. It's like coming home, going to the party, coming to the conference. I always look forward to it, not only for the amazing things that I'm going to learn, and I always leave with a notebook full of wonderful facts and wonderful things and ways to improve, but also that every coffee break, every person I sit next to, every person I pass in the hall loves the same thing I do. They love children's books, and that's a real gift. And you can make so many great connections, not only with the editors and agents, but also just with your fellow writers and illustrators, and learn so much from each other. And like I said, no matter where you go, I've gone to Europe and spoken to writers there, and gone back to the States and done some events there. And it's such a welcoming community. And I was talking to one writer who doesn't write for children, and she's saying, oh, but aren't you competitive? Aren't you competing with these other writers and illustrators? And it's not, that's never the feel of SCBWI. We're there to succeed together. And you really feel that sense of camaraderie and that encouragement from each other. And I think that's what makes SCBWI so...
It's very difficult to actually reach inside yourself and say, you know, like confer on yourself, I am a writer, because it always sounds very pretentious, doesn't it? Oh, look at me, the writer. Or how do you introduce yourself to someone? My name's Sarah, I'm an author. I mean, it just doesn't sit very well, because for some reason it's a very difficult or uncomfortable thing to be with, but we are writers, and at a certain level we know that we want to write, and so, you know, I think we've got to embrace that, and however scary it is, or however much you feel that you're not a writer yet, or you can only be a writer when an agent has given you a card and asked to see your work. Actually, it's not true. A writer is someone who sits down and writes, and a writer is someone who turns up at a writers' conference like Scbwi and takes themselves seriously and takes other writers who are there seriously. And it's just about getting stuck in and putting that to one side, not being too precious about yourself or what you do, and having a glass of wine if that's what you want to do, and being yourself, really.
Janice Swanson, who used to work for Curtis Brown, I signed up with her, and the first thing she said to me was, you have to join Scbwi. And so I said, okay, that's fine, I will. And I got on the phone to Sue Himes, who was the membership person at the time, and she said, that's great, you're just in time to go on the retreat. And I went, yeah, but no, but I don't think I want to. And she went, yeah, so you're in, so I'll put you on that. And so I did. So I got like one of the last places on the retreat, and I met amazing people on that retreat. I met Natasha and Candy and Jackie and Sue and all these really, really cool people, and thought, I like this is really good. And then I joined a critique group, and that critique group supported me through many things. My agent then retired, and I was agentless and then trying to start all over again, and they helped me take my stories and turn them into something that was actually publishable, so that by the time I went to a Scbwi conference the year after that and met my now agent Gemma Cooper, by pouring her a glass of wine, I had something that I could show her. I had something that was worthwhile.